we will go ahead and get started. All right, it looks like we are good to go. You guys, thank you so much for being here. My name is Ruth Schroner. I will be co-hosting this today we've got Micah Folsom and Nikki Whiting on, is it Whiting or Whitting? Make sure I'm saying that right. But we will be co-hosting together today and kind of bouncing back and forth and sharing more about how to grow your income. So by a chat in, will y'all tell me if you feel confident that you totally understand the compensation plan on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the very most. You totally understand the compensation plan and how to maximize your income potential in this business. Where do you fall? 10 being the most, 0 being no, not at all. Awesome. Okay, cool. Seeing lots of like middle ground here. Understand it 5. All right, so elaborating on that, 1 to 10, how much do you understand team cycle bonus and how to maximize that? 10 being, yep, I totally get team cycle bonus. 1 being like, team cycle bonus still makes me roll my eyes to the back of my head. All right, so I see lots of different numbers being thrown around from 3s to 8s, all of the in between. So we're gonna hit on all of it today because when we see people in this business getting big paychecks, that means one thing, and that means that they are having a massive, massive impact with a massive trickle effect, okay? So we're gonna talk about how that happens today with growing your team, with leading your team, and growing to 2-star and beyond. So I'm gonna cover the bare basics with you for about 15 minutes here, then I'm gonna pass it off to Micah. She's gonna do a little deeper dive into team cycle bonus and strategy. And then we're gonna pass it off to Nikki, who will be covering how to really grow that volume that we're talking about in your downline, okay? So if you chatted in that you totally get the compensation plan, you're at an 8, a 9, a 10 in this. This might be a little bit of review for you. If you're at a 3 with team cycle bonus, you're gonna need this, but this is foundation. If you don't understand this, you can't understand anything else that we're gonna talk about on this call. So we want to start with the foundation. I'm gonna share my screen and we will get going. And it's gonna look like I have a lot of slides here, but I promise you, we're gonna zip right through this, so don't fear, my friends. All right, let me find it. Okay, do you guys see on your screen, give me a thumbs up if you see like a plant that says team cycle bonuses. Y'all see that? Thank you so much, Jen, I appreciate it. Feel free to also chat in questions. I am looking at the Zoom chat. I am not looking at the Facebook Live chat, so if you are on Facebook Live, if anyone sees those questions over there, if you'll chat them in, I'll try to hop back and forth, but I'm gonna get through this pretty quickly here. All right, so we are going to just start and jump right in. So again, foundational stuff, right? First, let's just talk about personal volume, PV. PV, this accrues from all the sales activity that you as a coach initiate. This can be personal orders or customer orders. Something that's commonly misconstrued is that people think personal volume means it has to come from your personal purchases. No, it comes from your personal purchases, but also any purchases from a customer that you sell to. We all know that coaches need 50 personal volume every 5 weeks to remain active. And you should also know, if you do not, that you need, and your coaches need 90 personal volume home direct every month to qualify for Success Club program and leads. Okay, so those are just bare basics. You need to know those things because you need to communicate them to your team. And so they're hitting Success Club, so they're staying active, so they're advancing in rank. We can look at our personal volume in the back office. If you go to the Monitor My Business and you click on team volume from there, you can go here and it's gonna show you your personal volume for every single week, okay? So you know you just need, coaches in your downline need 50 personal volume every 5 weeks. So in the last 5, do they have that 50 personal volume to be active, and do they have their Shakeology, which should be a no-brainer because they should be doing those things, especially if they want to grow a business. When you click on that hyperlink, it's going to show you where all of that volume is accumulated from. So based on that total PV I had of 285, I can go in here and see my customers that purchased something, or if I purchased something, it's going to show up on this feed. Okay, easy peasy. Moving on, team volume, and this is where it gets a little bit different. We're going to go into team cycle bonus. Team volume, what we call TV. Okay, this accrues from the sales activity initiated by coaches in your entire downline organization. This includes your personal sponsored coaches and non-personally sponsored coaches. So this is truly anybody that you see in your organization, from both coaches that your coaches add, but also coaches, if your upline is adding coaches on that leg, you're going to see your coaches on there, and then their coaches. Okay, so it's truly a team effort, and every product that we have has TV attached to it. Okay, so Energize 38 TV, Hydrate 20 TV. As you can see from our personal volume is sometimes different than TV. Okay, so as this happens, you are getting team volume. We can go check out team volume in the back office at a few different places. First place you can look is on your dashboard. What you're going to see is your current week team volume and also any carryover volume from the last week. We'll get into that in just a moment. So you will see that listed here. But another place I've actually always tracked from the beginning and how I've calculated my paychecks before I ever got them was monitoring my business and team volume. Okay, so this is that same place right here. We see personal volume, but we can see our team volume on both of our legs. Everybody on this call right now, you have a left leg and you have a right leg. We're going to go more into that in just a moment. But every single week, you are accruing team volume if you are an Emerald or Beyond coach, okay? And once we click on these hyperlinks right here, you can see the details. So this is the left leg team volume. When I click on that, I can see where all of that team volume, so I can see Kelly here and Jennifer and Abby and Tina, and if I go click on their TV, I can see what they ordered. So I can just see all the volume that's being accrued. You can go in to your back office and see the same thing, and I recommend that you start paying attention to this because it will matter as you want to grow a paycheck. It matters now, right? So if you go into this back office report, you are going to see maybe some names you don't know. So maybe you click on this left leg volume and you're like, who the heck is Kelly? Kelly's not my coach. Why is she showing on my left leg volume? Again, this is because you are seeing all the coaches in your organization. That means if I enrolled you on my team, right? If I enrolled you on my team and I added you, so you are this PS coach right here, but then I enroll another PS coach. So this is you, this PS. My coaches who are on your strong leg are going to show up in your team volume report. They're also going to show up in your graphical genealogy. How many of you ever went to your graphical genealogy or team volume report and you've seen a coach below you or showing up in team volume and you're like, who is that coach? Right? Has anyone ever did that when you were brand new? That's literally one of the first questions I had is like, hey, who's this coach on my left leg? I don't know who they are. It wasn't my coach. It was a coach that my upline coach had sponsored. Okay. And she placed that coach on my left leg. Therefore, I was seeing it in my graphical genealogy. And bonus, I also earned team cycle bonus from that coach's volume. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay. Before I go on, what questions do I have? I'm halfway done, you guys. I told you I was going to breeze through this. All right. So in your, and again, feel free to chat in any questions. I know this is kind of review before Micah gets to the really fun stuff. You have you have a left leg downline and you have a right leg downline. Some of you are going to have strong legs in your organization. The strong leg can be either right or left. It is different based upon who you are and where you're placed in the organization. It can also change over time. My strong legs have flip-flopped multiple times, or I have balanced legs. You might not have a strong leg, so if you do not have a upline coach who actively works a business, you might not have a strong leg. No fear, you can still grow an incredibly successful business. Lindsay Matway did not have a strong leg, did not have an upline coach, and I believe she's been the top earning coach for years on end. So good news is that you can still make an insanely awesome income no matter what your situation is, okay? You are always responsible for building both your right and left legs, right? That is your job as a CEO of your business. You are never to rely on anyone else. So just like Matt Way didn't rely on anyone else to build her team for her, she didn't get bitter and say, well, I don't have an upline. Instead, she said, I'll do it myself. And all of us on here, being our own CEOs, that's our job. Okay? So something, again, I'm going to say this over and over because this is where it kind of gets a little bit confusing for people. Remember, as I talk about this, that you are earning team volume, sorry about my typo, from all the coaches in your organization. PS and non-PS coaches. All of that team volume that these coaches bring in, either from their personal orders or from selling to a customer, all of that team volume trickles up to your right or left leg volume, okay? And so if you think about it, guys, remember, so this is you here and you have a right and left leg. Every single coach in your organization has a right and left leg, okay? So let's say this PS coach right here, let's call her Katie. Katie comes in and wants to build to diamond. Remember, she has this left leg, but she also has her own right leg, so she's going to begin building that. All right, let's say this PS coach, maybe this is your spouse account. Very important. We want your spouse account at the top of preferably your weak leg, but talk to your upline coach about that. But your spouse account also has a right and left leg as well. So they're going to have that strong leg that the team is building. They're also going to have the other inside leg as well, okay? But also any coach who is a non-PS coach. So let's say Katie brings in her best friend, Stephanie, and Stephanie is added to your team. So let's say this is Stephanie, this one right here that I'm circling. And now Stephanie is going to grow a team as well. All of Stephanie's volume and anything Stephanie ever does is going to trickle up to your left leg in regards to team volume. I'm going to pause. What questions do you have? Micah, Nikki, if I'm missing a point, please let me know. You guys should both have hosts and can unmute yourselves. Okay. All right. So again, now some of you will have a strong leg. We'll talk about how to see that in just a moment, because the strong leg is kind of based upon the coaches you bring in, but also your upline coach. Are they building a team on the leg that you are on? So some of you might see right away that you have coaches, and that's because you've joined a coach who is actively working and building this business. All right. So we talked about team volume, right? Let's look at it from the back office as well, where we find this and how do you calculate it? How does this impact your paycheck? So what I'm showing you right here is two different views, you guys. They are two different time periods, so please don't look at that. But you can see your team volume that's being accrued either on your dashboard right here, and this is going to include your carryover volume from the week before, or you can go to your Monitor My Business team volume report, and you'll see all of your team volume for the past weeks, okay? When you hit Emerald rank or higher, you are eligible for weekly team cycle bonuses based upon your weekly team volume, okay? So basically, the higher these numbers are, total team volume by leg, the more times you cycle. How many of you know, by chatting in, you can calculate your team cycle bonus every week before you get it? Chat in yes if you can do that, like you can go right now and calculate that. And tell me no too, just so I'm aware of my audience. I'm glad I see lots of yeses. That's awesome. And I love seeing no's too. That means I'm not wasting my time telling you this. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, you guys. How much do you get paid for each bonus? So you get paid $14 per cycle as an emerald, $18 per cycle as a diamond. Now there are maxes per week because you don't just cycle, well, you might cycle once a week, but the point is to cycle as many times as possible every single week, right? You want to cycle as many times possible with team cycle bonus every single week. But as an emerald, you're going to max out at $250 because that's the cap. And I didn't even put ruby on here because if you're ruby, you just need to be diamond, period. Just get to diamond. Like there's no sense in being ruby. If you're a diamond, you're going to cycle up to $2,000 per week, and that's where you max, okay? So how do we cycle and how do we calculate this? So now I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to start with a strong leg. Okay, so there's two ways to calculate. Tell me right now if you have a strong leg on your team. Say strong or balanced if you know. And then say I don't know if you don't know. So it should be either strong, balanced, or I don't know. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm seeing, cool, awesome. Lots of strong. So this is going to pertain to most of you. All right, so your strong leg, we're going to do this calculation first. In order to cycle, you have to have 200 TV on your strong leg and 100 TV on your weak leg. That equals one cycle. Again, it can happen over and over again. So you can look at those two different spots and actually go here, right? So you can look at your team volume, but if you look at your dashboard, which is a newer feature, they didn't have this when I was a new coach, so I always look at team volume, old habits die hard. So you can go here, you're gonna see if you have a strong leg, because if you do, one leg is going to be quite a bit higher and you're gonna have this carryover volume that is banked, okay? So in this example, the left leg has 97,000, the right has 47. Okay, so this would definitely have a strong leg. Now, if you had a left leg that had 100 and a right leg that had 20, and it's Tuesday, you would have balanced legs, right? So you can see here, this business center has a very strong leg. All right. All right. So to calculate this, what are we going to do? I'm just going to show you how I calculate it. That's what I've been doing since my beginning days of coaching. I literally started stalking this from the time that I could. I was obsessed with team cycle bonus, and that's why it grew very quickly. What you focus on grows. So in order to do this, your calculation is going to be your weak leg volume divided by 100 times your rank amount is going to equal your team cycle bonus amount. So in this example, it'd be 487 divided by 100 times 18. We're going to do 18 for all of these. So that's a diamond. So what would our calculation be? How many times would we cycle? Chat that. 4. This is like, yeah, thank you, Jen. 4 times. All right.
This is like math class.
I typically just round up or down.
I'm very happy.
Based upon whatever it is. So like I'd round down here. Now what happens to that 87 volume that isn't cycled?
Goes to carryover.
That's going to go into your carryover volume for the next week. Okay. So as long as you are maintaining your rank, that volume, that 87 volume is just going to go to carryover. Okay. So we cycled 4 times. So 4 times 18. I am not good at math, but the fact I can figure this out should tell you guys everything. Is how much?
66.
I have to take a calculator. I know someone on here is good at math. While I'm looking at this, what questions do you guys have? Does this make sense for my people who have never been able to do this before? Yes? Okay.
Not that good at math.
So let's do another example. All right. So in this example, we have 118,000 on our left leg. On our right leg, we have 4,600.
46.
How many times is this individual cycling? Just tell me how many times they're cycling first. Yep, thank you. 46. Boom, shakalaka.
That's
Trisha,
Hannah,
coming at you with prizes. Awesome. This is like Jeopardy. So if we take 46 times 18, right, that is going to be how much this individual cycles. 828. I'm not checking your math. I am just trusting Heather. So Heather, I'm really relying on you right now. Thank you. So you can see this is 1 week, right? In 1 week, that's what's happening. Any questions about this? Because I'm going to move on. The legs, so question I see, I will be covering balance, yes. I see one question, the legs cycle separately. So the legs cycle when you have 200 volume on your strong leg and 100 volume on your weak leg. So in this, since this individual that we're looking at, this example has a strong leg, both left and right are cycling, but that is one cycle, right? We have the 200 we need on the strong leg. We know that because we have a banked 100,000 volume, right? So we only have to.
Also, just so you guys know, the answer to their question is all they have to do to make sure that they have enough to fully cycle is taking that 4,637 and multiplying it by 2 and making sure that that number fits into the 118,000 right there. So your strong leg might not be as strong as this one, but if you want to make sure that you have a strong leg to weak leg, she's going to go over balanced, which makes more sense, but you would just multiply this number times 2. Does the number that you get fit into this? Like, is there enough to cover it? If the answer is yes, then you can do your 46 cycles times 18.
Look at the right leg. Dorinda, let me elaborate on that question. I'm not sure if that's what you were asking. Okay, cool. Okay, and I saw another question. Weak and strong legs can switch per cycle. Is that correct? Heather, that is correct, and that's when you would have balanced legs. If you are in this situation where you have a ton of carryover volume, you're not gonna switch per cycle, like you're gonna always use this. If you have balanced legs, that's when you're gonna use the next calculation I'm gonna go into.
Which, Marissa, pay attention. I believe that you are kind of balanced at the moment, so
I believe I'm answering that question. Please elaborate if I did not. Jody asked, is there a pro to calculating it here with carryover volume versus other report just week to week? It's really the biggest pro is that this one has your carryover volume. So if you had like 50 volume from last week, it's going to calculate that in. So you're going to get your carryover calculation as well. Good question.
And what she meant by that is calculating your volume and your paychecks from this screen is really important, which is underneath the home screen on your computer, because it shows that carryover volume. Let's say that you have 4691 this week and you have that 47. This is going to calculate that. It's going to add those together. So it will push you one more cycle. So you'll get a more accurate representation of your paycheck versus going to monitor my business, compensation, team volume, and looking at LV versus RV over there where your PV is also. But calculating your paycheck, you can take, what I like to do is I come here and then I calculate my volume, my team cycle bonus check. And then I go to the compensation team volume and I look at my PV and I click that and I calculate what my PV sales are for the week. So I get a better, more accurate representation of my paycheck.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna just jump to our balanced leg equation. All right, so if you have a balanced leg, this is where it's, if you have balanced legs, this is for my balanced leg people. Additionally, hopefully everyone on here, your goal is to really catch your volume. You wanna be such a rock star, building such a rock star team that at some point you've like surpassed catching your volume, which actually isn't like that fun, because I'd just love to have a power leg all the time, but that's not how it always works out. So at some point in your business, because you all are gonna be such rock stars, you're going to catch your team. You're gonna catch that balance leg. So in order to calculate this, what you're doing is you are adding your right leg and your left leg team volume together, okay? Dividing that by 300. So in this situation, it would be 1,708 plus 530.
And just so you guys know, because I know you're thinking, well, why do you add it together? The cool thing about the compensation plan is that if one of your legs maxes out and because you have balanced legs, kind of like this, then you get to switch. And so the computer isn't as smart as we think it is. It will continuously switch until you use up all, like 200, 100, 200, 100, 100, 200, until you completely max out. And I know that was kind of confusing. Maybe she'll explain it more.
That's going to give you 1,238, and you're going to take that 1,238, and we're going to divide that by 300, and that is going to be how many times a cycle, okay? So that would be, you'd cycle 4 times, okay? So then what would our calculation be if you cycled 4 times? You would take it by what? 18, because everyone on here is a diamond, so you should all be cycling at 18, okay? That's the balance leg calculation. So again, we could look at this again, and it would be the same thing, that 3,700, or that 37,900 plus the 11,366 divided by 300 times 18. So that's your balance leg equation. Courtney, does that cover that? Good there? Is everyone good with calculation?
I went to figure something out really quick. 11366 times 2. So this still could be used as the previous one. I'm just gonna let her keep talking.
Yes, give me a thumbs up if we're good. All right, cool. Cool, cool. All right, so how it grows. Again, so I wanted to take you guys back just very quickly before I hand this off. We all start at 0. Everyone has 0. So this was my business when I first enrolled as a coach. I joined a coach who gave me a strong leg, who had a strong leg there. So this left leg was just constantly growing, as you can see. And my right leg was my weak leg. Okay, I started out at 0, 0, 0. Then I enrolled, what did I do? I enrolled my mom and my spouse. So these first 2 people here, this was my mom, which was a massive mistake. I wish I would have enrolled my spouse first, so don't be like me. Hopefully everyone has already enrolled their spouse. But that was there, okay? So here we could see very beginning of my business. But fast forward about 3 months, I was always inviting to the business, always, always. I was looking for business builders, people who wanted to change their life with me, to do this full time, to have big dreams. I was putting that out there and inviting people to do that with me, dead serious, and I was painting that picture for my team. So by the time we got to September, you see this weak leg volume. I had, how many times did I cycle? It's super easy, right? Divided by 100. I cycled 6 times in this week. And if I dig into this, I can see where that volume was coming from. Now, here's the thing, you guys, it's not just your PS coach. Again, it's all of the coaches. So this coach here, Leah, was one of my first business builders. And then Leah brought in Ashley. Okay. And then this other Ashley was a new coach that week. Okay, so I brought in one business builder who brought in another business builder. And so when Leah or Ashley brought in coaches to the team, the volume would build and build and build. And since I was always looking for business builders, I wasn't seeing just a few orders come through from Shakeology from week to week. I was seeing Leah and Ashley build their own empires, and that was building my team cycle bonus. But you do not find that unless you are inviting to the business, talking about the business, and painting that picture of what's possible in the business. Because again, remember, team volume is based upon all the coaches in your organization, not just your PS coaches. Any questions? That concludes my piece. Before we pass it off to Micah, who's going to deep dive. The 300, Jody, you would follow the balanced equation that I showed you. All right, I'm passing it off to Micah. I'm going to stop sharing, and you should be able to share now.
Okay, can you guys see this? So, that was awesome. Let me just preface this by, Ruth said she stocked hers and like knew how to calculate everything. I was like taking notes on how to calculate stuff because I have never done that before. I just knew that I needed to grow both legs, that everything needed to continue to grow, and I needed to maximize the growth strategy. So maybe a little bit of a reliever if that was like kind of over your head and a little bit like, oh my gosh, you can still be really successful if you don't understand this to a T. What you do need to understand though is that volume is essential. And there is so much strategy behind how you grow, okay? So we're gonna dig in to the building strategy and really focusing on 2-star specifically. Obviously, that's what we're talking about in this group. So some things to consider. Volume matters, obviously, and that is a long game. So volume takes time to grow. Like Ruth said, it's like it's a situation where one leg can take off and you can play catch up. Like you have time to catch that leg and still get paid on all of that volume that's sitting there with the carryover and the savings account that we get when we're not cycling out, right? So you guys just need to understand what you have is there for you no matter what. It just depends how fast you want to cash in on it, okay? So volume and rank go hand in hand. In my opinion, rank is quicker income, because if you can build for 2-star and 5-star and 10 and 15 and get those quarterly bonuses, those bonuses are going to pay out a lot quicker than waiting for volume to develop, okay? Also, while you're building for rank and have that urgency around developing leaders, that obviously drives volume. So it's not like a situation where you're like, oh, well, I'm just building for volume and I'm just going to wait for it to grow. And I'm just going to wait for other people to start building because they said they wanted to. Like, there are controllables that we can take hold of now. And that's what I want you guys to really take ownership of after this call, okay? So we can control a couple things. We can control how many people we're bringing onto our team. Like Ruth was talking about, recruiting is like, we can go all into building strategy, but if you don't have human beings to place in the downline to build with you, none of this matters, okay? So recruiting has to be a top priority. And then how we develop our leaders and how we get them started and how we have them gain success and gain traction in their own business. That's also in our control, how much time and energy we're putting into mentoring our coaches. And then where we're placing. So where we're placing all of the new people coming in, there's definitely strategy behind that. We're not just leaving it up to the genealogy to randomly put them in the downline. Like, we know exactly where each person's going, and there's a reason behind it. So that's what we're going to cover so that you guys have a full understanding of that. And I just want you guys to really understand that you can build both volume and rank simultaneously. It's not, oh, I'm going for rank, screw volume. Oh, I'm going for volume, I don't care about rank. You need both to really build a substantial business, or you will end up losing money and leaving it on the table. And that's just silly, in my opinion, okay? So really quick, I wanted to just give you guys a bit how much time and energy we're putting in.
You guys, they didn't post these in the page, so you're going to have to bear with me while I write some of this stuff down. So this is the part where I have to really pay attention. So volume, building so that every single business owner pays your bank account is as close to 2 to 1. So what she means by is the 200 to 100 ratio is possible versus the even building that kind of they were going over in the last one. 2 to 1. Rank, always be proactive about where you're placing and developing up and comers. We have to be looking 3 to 6 months down the road. And we need right here now for developing diamonds, control the controllables. We can always control how many people we're adding to our team, how we get them started and mentor them to succeed. So luckily we have a new coach training on how to get people started, and just setting goals around how many people you want to recruit to build the business per month. Maybe the last 2 weeks of the month, you guys talk about the coaching opportunity more. This is where your marketing strategy can come in and focus on talking about those things and bringing people into the business using the videos that we have that we put together. Reaching out to me and letting me know you want to do a new coach webinar or something like that. There are different ways to do coach sneak peeks and things. And then always reaching out to either me or Marissa to figure out where you want to place someone, looking at your volume, also looking at your rank. You can take both of those things into account, especially once you're an emerald and you've got a pretty solid emerald, taking into account where to place the next couple coaches to go ahead and start driving that volume on that weak leg, as well as building for diamond. So you have 1 to 1, so maybe you add 2 more here and then come back here. So always ask one of us. You can build for both volume and rank. My notes are going to look like shit because I'm going to have to come back and do this when I'm not taking up your guys' time watching the replay. So, all right, let's go.
Mentoring our coaches, and then where we're placing substantial business, or either make it or break.
Right.
Just like you guys. And I'm one of the Matt ways, I'm on a complete dead leg. So, which is July of 2. Really quick, I want to really build a substantial business or you will end up losing money and leaving it on the table. And that's just silly, in my opinion. Okay. So really quick, I wanted to just give you guys a visual. So this is my business, Coach to 6-Star. So I signed up in July of 2013. So 0, 0. Started just like you guys. And I'm one of the mat ways, I'm on a complete dead leg. So, which is a blessing in its own right, because it does help you be like, dude, this is all me. Like, it's either, I'm going to either make it or break it, and it relies on me. So that was really empowering. I was like bitter about it for maybe 5 minutes, and I'm like, gosh, dang it. So-and-so has a really strong leg. Like when I learned how this all worked, so-and-so has a really strong leg. That would be so nice to have that volume just like building and waiting. But at the same time, I'm like, who cares? I'm just gonna make it happen. So wherever you're at, I'm gonna talk about the different building strategies and understanding. You guys need to understand how to build this business regardless of what your business looks like, because all of your coaches are also gonna have different circumstances, right? So just as an example, some key dates. I signed up July 15th, went diamond August 21st. I helped my husband go diamond. Well, that's a good typo. September 25th. That was kind of a guess because I looked for a shout out and I couldn't find it. And then I didn't get to open my second business center until December 16th. We finished that year as a 6-star team, which means that I was a 1-star for months and months and months and months and months while volume was continuing to grow before I could open up my second CBC, because we were building for 5-star by the end of the year. So you guys need to understand that this volume right here, where it says 4,000, 3,600, at the top of that, no, that's not where it was. December 25th, that's when we went 6-star, 2,600, 4,400. Well, in April, 7,600, 10,000, we were still a 6-star team because I had some leaders drop off and lose rank. And then I was developing other leaders to kind of replace them. And I just want you guys to see how rank is a great measure, but it doesn't tell the full story. You guys want depth in your organization. You want to duplicate the simple stuff, hitting Success Club, building their team, but you can't let your rank define you. And I feel like that's what holds a lot of people back, is you'll sit at diamond and then you'll be like, oh, I'm just a diamond. Dude, you could be making $2,000 a week in cycles as a diamond coach. So if you're not just crushing your weak leg while you're a diamond, driving that volume and getting paid the maximum amount of cycles, then you still have a lot in your control that you can be doing. And you can also be a pretty empty 5-star with not very strong of diamonds and making not very much money. So don't let that define your worth in the business. I see that a lot. And just understand that you have so much control over the growth. Okay. So let's break this down really quickly. I'm going to talk about the different, this is going towards building for 2-star and what to be thinking about. Okay. So if your spouse is on your weak leg, who, put it in the chat, who has a spouse on their weak leg already? Just like Ruth was talking about, we all have a left and right. The weak is simply the lower volume leg. It can swap. So you guys need to understand the strategy behind this. Okay. If you have a spouse on your weak leg, you need to be mindful that you're developing leaders opposite them, because you can always help your spouse go diamond so that you're maxing out on cycles in their business center, maxing out on cycles in your business center. And then in order to get to 2-star, you have to have that other PS diamond opposite your spouse, right? So then where would your second CBC go? These are the things that you're like, well, why does it even matter right now? Because you need to know where it's going to go so that you can be building opposite, because you know you're going to be able to drive volume through your second CBC. And because you're a rock star and you own your business and you're a bad A, that's also going to be another rock solid diamond in your organization. Okay. So a couple options for your second CBC. You can place it on the weak leg of your spouse, which would drive weak leg volume for your spouse, also driving weak leg volume for you.
Yo, by the way, I didn't know this until yesterday. you can place your additional CBCs, your Kelly number 2s, and stuff like that under a spouse. I asked the question about placing it underneath a parent because I have my mom at the top of my weak leg, but I haven't gotten a reply yet. So
helps double dip on all those cycles and drive that volume, which is awesome. That's what a lot of people do. Another option could be like maybe your PS diamond that's opposite your spouse ends up not being very solid, right? Maybe you don't want the 2-star bonus to be in control of someone else. So maybe you want to sponsor it opposite your spouse so that you always have 2-star locked and loaded for the bonus. And then you can be placing opposite where that's going to go when you're sponsoring. Okay. I know this is a lot, but this is something that like we're recording. You'll want to listen to it multiple times. These are things you need to think about. Okay. Because another reason for doing that would be maybe in the process of developing your spouse to diamond and someone else opposite them developing to diamond, maybe you've got 3 or 4 other really rock star coaches on your weak leg, but you don't have any other diamonds developing on your strong leg. So you have that 1 PS diamond, but you have no more. So you're going to get stuck at 4-star and 5-star elite is your goal. That would be another reason to sponsor your second CBC on your strong, lock in 5-star and elite, and then go opposite and go weak leg to drive volume. Okay. One more option to consider is you could always, this is what I actually did. You could always go on your strong leg. If you did want to sponsor it over there, you could go on an inside leg of someone you love. Like for instance, my mom is.
Oh shit, she answered it for me.
She's actually sponsored. She's one of my husband's coaches. And I went on her inside leg when I opened up my second CBC because I wanted longevity wise, I wanted to be able to grow. She was on a strong leg and I wanted to be able to grow her weak leg to help grow that income. So that's what I decided to.
That makes me so excited. So you hear what she's saying. She's saying you can place your second CBC option over someone you love, parent, any fucking body. Holy shit. What? That's crazy. I don't know about the BFF part. I don't know what that means, but I guess I can place my second CBC underneath my mom, which is exactly what I did because I signed my mom up at the top of my weak leg versus my spouse. So Ryan's on my strong leg. My mom's at the top of my organization on my weak leg. This is why this is important because it's long game, baby. So exciting. Basically what this means when you sign up, and I know this may still be confusing for some of you, but when you sign up your second CBC, you get to build that person. All the volume in this organization becomes double dipped. So imagine if I just chose to place my second CBC on an outside leg, like here. The only people who benefit from that volume really are this person, right? But if you place it, or I guess, wait. Oh yeah. So not under my spouse, but like if, all right, so we have right and left leg. So my mom's up over here. Instead of just signing up and placing my second CBC on an outside leg, I'm going to sign it up underneath my mom's actual account. So she gets volume off of it and I get volume off of it. So you're kind of double dipping on volume the same way that I get volume off of, let's just use Audrey, for example. I get a volume off of Audrey and her husband. I'm basically getting to sign up Audrey's husband, like under my mom. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. So you can like double dip on income and just, yeah.
So there's like so many options and so many ways to build this and to help the people we love by still doing the work ourselves, but just placing strategically, okay? So spouse on strong leg, let's talk about that. And if you have even legs, that's awesome. That just means your legs are bouncing back and forth. Mine were even, obviously, because I was on a dead leg. And then one took off because a rock star went over there. So I went opposite that leg to continue to grow it. So you guys just need to stay on top and understand that essentially 2-to-1 ratio is what cycles every bit of the volume. But if you can build even like Ruth was saying, and you can get it to where it's pretty balanced, that gives you the most freedom as far as where you're placing for rank and for volume. You're maxing out your cycles. You're building for rank so that you don't get all lopsided and stuck at 9-star because you don't have enough diamonds to get to 10. So things like that do matter, okay? So spouse on strong leg, similar situation. You could either do your second CBC opposite your spouse, which would be the weak leg, and drive volume on your weak leg, just like that's great, and have an opposite diamond. Or if your spouse has a power leg, you could go inside with your second CBC, and all of that carryover volume that's been happening because they're on a strong leg, not cycling as much because their weak leg is probably pretty weak, you could drive that volume on their weak leg, cash in on the power leg volume, and really pick up your income that way, okay? And then same way, someone you love, you could always go inside their weak leg and drive volume on that weak leg, plus help someone you love. Okay, so wrapping this up, volume, and then I'll go to the questions because I can't see any of them right now. You can, I need you guys to understand this, you can sponsor by you and place graphically to benefit for volume. So for instance, if your spouse is on your right leg, you can still sponsor by you, but place your PS coach on your spouse's weak leg if you're sponsoring on your right. So understanding where you need the volume along with where you need the active coach for rank is really important. And doing that only matters once your spouse has some volume happening on a strong leg. So there's no point in going inside your spouse if they have nothing going on their outside leg, because you'll just flop it. So if you guys are mindful of your volume in every business center that you're getting paid on, so yours, your spouse, your second CBC if you have that open, and trying to keep it at least 2 to 1 in every single center, you know that you're going to be getting paid the most you can every single week. Okay? Where you're up and comers, this is really important that you guys pay attention. You're not just building short term. We have to think like 3, 6, 9 months ahead of us and understand, okay, Sally's a rock star. She's on my left. That means I better be building opposite her so that as she continues to take off and blows up the volume over there, I am keeping up with stuff opposite her, right? And same for rank. You don't just want to be like, okay, weak leg volume, that's what they said, I have to drive weak leg volume. Put all your people over there and then have no one developing for diamond on your strong leg because you have volume sitting there but no leaders. So you're going to get stuck at 1 star. If you have 8 diamonds on your weak leg and 0 on your strong leg, you're still a 1 star. So you have to be mindful of where you're developing leaders, what's happening with your volume, and what your next rank goal is so that you're building strategically, okay? 5-star is like, that's 5-star elite. In my opinion, everybody should be thinking 5-star. Even if you are a baby diamond coach, you need to be thinking 5-star. That's 2 diamonds on one leg, 3 diamonds on another. Your spouse can be one of them. Your second CBC is going to be one of them. So where are your other 3 diamonds going to be? And making sure that you're sponsoring evenly on each leg to develop those leaders, okay? And then really quickly, because this just has to be talked about, Trent Shelton talks about this. If you want to raise your ceiling, you have to raise your floor. If you want to raise your goals for income, if you want to raise your goals for rank, you can't just keep your baseline non-negotiable of Success Club 5 as your goal. You'll quickly learn, shoot, I don't have enough people coming in to build my spouse and keep my diamond rank solid, and. That's the point. You've got to continue to raise your baseline so that you can continue to grow your business, continue to help your spouse grow their business, and be placing where you can, because we have so much control over the growth in our business, and you cannot wait for other people to grow it for you. Okay, so understanding the strategy behind this will help you have actually a purpose in place. And so you should be
basically what she's saying is don't wait until you get business builders. Make your own business builders by signing up your spouse, consistently recruiting underneath your own business, building your business, hitting Success Club, recruiting coaches, while also focusing on your husband or whoever it is So for me, my mom on my right leg and Ryan on my left leg, she's basically telling me to get off my ass and start building both of those accounts, going 2-star, which Marissa's on my right leg. I could just build Ryan and go 2-star and build my mom and then be 3-star. She's telling me basically to do that and stop just sitting on my booty and to raise the bar.
Say, okay, my next 5 coaches are being placed here, sponsored by my first, and this is why. And you should understand that always, okay?
And also know that every time she says spouse, that also equals partner, parent, child, right? Like, obviously, I don't think any of you guys have, or some of you have kids. Kids have to be 18 or older in this business. So, or wait, no, Randy. Like, so Randy could build her daughter's account and her husband's account while also simultaneously building hers. And that's 2-star. Like, it's just a matter of doing the business activity tracker and having a marketing plan and really working your business in the first 2 weeks and then really working your business in the second 2 weeks. But again, the reason why we train the way we do in our team, and I don't go so much into this, is because people get burnt out really quickly. So I think it's also very important to maintain your own journey and mindset.
I think that is it. Let me stop sharing and go to, are there any specific questions that I didn't get answered? Does the second CBC have to go under a diamond? No, like you can place your second CBC anywhere in your organization, but it's always sponsored by you. Okay, maybe if you posted one that I didn't answer, the PS but placed graphically. Can you go over that? Okay, you guys, this is such an easy way to grow your income, okay? So right now, let's say these are your legs, okay? So your spouse is right here. They have this outside leg. So if you're just using left, right, left, right, left, right to sponsor, which that's what you do at the beginning, you're just playing checkers, right? Left, right, left, right. You're just building their strong leg, stronger, 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 stronger. What you do as they have a strong leg is when you go, did I say this is your right or your left? I can't remember. This is your right. We'll say this is your right. If instead of going right outside, at some point, once they have some volume, you go to your graphical genealogy, you put in your spouse's coach ID, because he's right here on your right leg, and then you choose left, save. And then you start building their inside leg by sponsoring on your right, placing on his left. So you're driving his weak leg volume by still sponsoring those same coaches that would have been going on his outside leg. Okay, so it's not more work for you. It's just being smarter about what you're doing with the people that you have coming in. Okay, so that's why if you go to your spouse's center right now, and obviously they need to be at least an emerald to benefit from that. Otherwise, the volume on the weak leg doesn't matter. But if you go to their business center and they have some strong leg volume and they have carryover, start going inside and placing so that you can be driving that volume and double dipping on the cycles. So now he's cycling at 14 or 18, you're cycling at the same 18 that you would have, and you're just getting paid basically twice the amount on the same cycle, okay? I may have missed this, but if you have your diamond and hubby on the same leg, current strong leg, would you do hubby's weak leg? Would that be hubby and strong? Would that be the hubby and strong leg slide that you had? Yeah, so you would just need to figure out, what you guys need to understand too, is where you place your second, that's just a for sure diamond. It should be a for sure diamond in your brain. So whenever I'm placing another CBC, I'm like, okay, where do I need the immediate diamond for rank? And where can it benefit from volume? So you will also get 25 business centers, okay? So understanding, like, I'm in this forever, and every single time you get to 2-star, you get to open up another CBC and go 2-star again. It's not like you place it once and then it's there, and then you have no other way to build another area. Like, I have 7 business centers. My husband has 2, and we're about to open our 8th. on Thursday. So like, I know where do I need the diamond, where do I want the volume, and it's going to go in a certain place. So just being mindful of where you want the immediate diamond, but then also knowing everyone can do this differently, but I place it where I need the diamond, and then I sponsor where I need developing diamonds and volume. So you can offset it either way. Does that make sense? Okay. When you're talking about this graphical genealogy with your spouse's weak leg, you're meaning when they're just a coach, not them. When they need to be emerald to benefit from cycles, but yeah, they're just a coach in your downline, and you can be placing your coaches that you're sponsoring on their weak leg. Yes. Still sponsored by you, placed to benefit volume. Okay, I think if you guys have any others, put them in there and I'll answer them while Nikki's talking, but let's turn it over to you, girlfriend.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Okay, I think after all this talk, we can agree that there's a ton of strategy involved in placing, and it can feel really, really overwhelming. So just know that we've all been there. Sometimes it still feels a little overwhelming. But the cool thing is that you should have a team that's able to help walk you through this. And just know that everybody's downline is so completely different. You want to make sure that you get like maybe a second opinion, and just make sure you chat with your personally sponsored or whoever can see your downline to help you guide you in the direction that might be best fit for you, which is definitely what Michael was saying. But just to reiterate that. Okay, I am going to run through this, and I don't have like slides. I have 2 graphics I'm going to show you guys. And basically what I'm going to share today is just how do we bump the volume. I always say, like, when do we see these bumps in volume, and how do we create those in our downlines? Now that you have, you know, diamond, star diamond, you're starting to create these leaders in your downline who are creating volume for you. So I am going to share that first one, and you can screenshot as I go and make sure I've got the right one. Okay. Can everybody see that? I didn't know if the letters were going to be too crazy. I don't know what the little gray line is. Some of this looks a little wonky, but okay. I'm going to walk you guys through this. One thing that I always tell my team is that anytime there's a launch, I'd say, you guys, a launch is a launch when you make it a launch. That is the only time you're going to see a bump in your volume, your team get on board, your customers get on board, people get excited about it. Beachbody all day can say, oh, we launched it. But you are the face of that. You are the brand. You are the team. You are the leader. You are the ones who are creating the hype and the launches. Someone else could have a mad, crazy launch with their team. But if you're not doing that on your end, your team will not see that same bump and excitement with the volume. So we have this thing that we do anytime we have these big launches. We do a volume dance in our leadership page, and everybody just gets in and does these like ridiculous dances anytime we see these huge bumps in volume. And this is the times that we usually see that. So I'm going to start with trying new products. Okay, some of this is going to feel very basic. Maybe some of you guys already do it. Maybe some of you will get some new takeaways from this. It is so simple to just say, try new products, right? We need to have team-wide samples going out. That means you guys should be trying the products as they come, trying brand new consumables. We fought for years with corporate to make sure we had consumables coming in, because we said if we have new consumables, we will sell them. And now we have them. So now is the time for you guys to get on board, to try them. Your customers will not know to purchase Bevy from you if you have not tried Bevy yourself. They will purchase it from someone else, or they will never know that it exists, and your team will not see the boost. So just making sure that you guys are trying the new consumables as those come out is super important. Another way that you can get these samples out to people is purchasing under these secondary business centers that you're seeing. So if you are someone who's already got Shakeology on your first business center or whatever, and say, I'm just using Bevy because it's one of the recent ones, comes out, and you want your customers, or you want potential new customers to get their hands on it, you would use your spouse account or a secondary business center, and you could push the sale or the purchase of all those Bevies in that business center. Now, the cool part about that is not only do you have your entire team buying a lot of these bevies, which they can then make money back by selling them as samples, unless they just want to do giveaways or whatever they want to do. They're making their money back, but you're creating this boost in volume because everybody is getting on board with these big volume boosts, these big boxes of samples. So what we do is we run these 7-day groups, and we'll either do like, if it's a limited edition that comes out of Shakeology, or maybe a new performance line, or bevy, or whatever it might be, you do a 7-day group, and you have everybody telling their customers, we are just going to be clean eating and replacing one snack a day with Shakeology, or a few of our performance supplements with these all natural ones that I have. Who's interested? This gets the entire downline talking about it, and it gets the entire downline getting new potentials in these groups, which is what you want. So it gets the new products in the hands of new and old customers. So even if you gave, say you did a Shakeology challenge with your team, and you gave 10 people samples, and only 1 to 2 of those people decided to purchase, that's a success, you guys. That's 2 new people who now have gotten you SE4, and you're well on your way to hitting Success Club just by simply getting the products in their hands. So don't feel defeated if you give samples to 10 people and only 1 or 2 of those purchase. That's still a success in my book. So the other thing that you guys can do is going live in the team pages and the customer groups. And I do this all the time. So right before we had MBF launch, I went live in the team page, and I said, here are all your options. We had accessories or digital access, accessories bundles, challenge packs, completion packs, mega, like the deluxe packs, all that stuff. But it started at basic. And I just went live into my team page and shared what I was personally doing. And here is why I'm buying this package. This is why I think it's important for us to have the bod ropes, the nutrition guide, all these things to be sharing. And I'm telling them I'm placing it in a spouse account, my order in a spouse account, so that volume bumps up to me. I'm able to cycle basically on my purchases that I'm making. And then I'm asking everybody else in the group, what bundle are you guys grabbing? What is the one that's going to work for you and why? And just sharing the options, explaining why you're choosing the option that you are. It sounds so simple, but someone in your downline who doesn't have an active upline may be completely lost on a launch and just not knowing what to do. And had they gone on to Beachbody On Demand, they would just pay for the digital unlock, and they would not have gotten bod ropes, the nutrition guide, ultimate portion fix, like all those things that maybe they don't already have. And they would be able to bump the volume that way by getting all of our customers and coaches understanding the importance of the accessories bundle, how much money they're saving, the challenge pack, all that stuff. The other is creating hype. So this kind of goes along the same lines of same line of going live, but we do hype groups for each launch, and we do it for both customers and for our coaches, because I do feel like there are just as many coaches who need to learn about programs and new products as there are customers sometimes. A lot of our coaches may be hobby coaches or discount coaches, and although they're selling here and there, they just don't know enough about the products to be able to share them, and maybe they haven't tried a new product because they're just not aware of what it is and why they might need it. So we do these hype groups, and basically what it does is we have all the leaders go in, and everybody's got these scheduled posts that we do, and it basically shares a little bit of information about, for example, we just did one for muscle burns fat, and basically on day 1, it's getting people excited. Who wants to learn more about the new program? Here's meet your trainer situation. Like, here's Megan. Here's what she's like. Here's what she's done before. The next day is something like different transformation stories, people who were in the test group. And if you had anybody in your team that was a part of the test group, they go live in there, they share about it, get people excited about their own transformation and why they loved it. And then say on day 3, we start sharing bundles and visuals of like how much it's going to cost, what they're getting for all these bundles. And we do this for about 7 days leading up to the launch. And then the day of the launch, we do a ring the bell style giveaway. And so we ask everybody who's purchased, every customer, to ring the bell by basically screenshotting their order and commenting below a post, and they're entered into a giveaway. And at that point, we do different giveaways for gift cards and things like that for our customers. And what we'll do is we do the exact same thing for coaches. And we do a giveaway for coaches, and we do a ring the bell for coaches. So you are pushing this new program becomes a massive launch, because all of a sudden your hobby coaches, your discount coaches, your working coaches are very informed about the program. They start the program, they start sharing the program. They get these customers and potentials into this group where it's just informative. There's, nothing, there's no catch to it. They're just learning more. And what we've decided to do that has worked is we transition these current groups. So Muscle Burns Fat group will sit there, and once we have a new push, a new launch, we will transition that group to the new hype group. So we have old attendees who are in there that are now going to start getting information about the next launch when we transition it to that one. And then we can continue to invite new people who are interested in whatever the next launch might be. So you're getting people's eyes on the products multiple times. Limited editions. So limited edition is huge for a volume bump, you guys, because honestly, it's not an HD product. So there is no reason you would ever want to cancel your home direct order, because you're going to be hitting Success Club. You're going to qualify for Success Club. And in order to do that, you need to be on 90 PB HD. And because these limited editions are not in HD, no one is canceling their current orders. It's an extra added order. So as your team starts to grow and you guys get in on these limited editions, you're going to see the bumps in volume as you guys purchase these products outside of their HD orders. So it's going to be an additional order. And again, that's where you could place that order in a spouse account, a family member's account, a secondary CBC, to bump your volume. Because if you're buying, say, 5 boxes of peppermint mocha at 90 PB, there's no reason to not take all that volume and stick it under your weak leg so that you can make some money back on your purchases. Okay, makes sense? I cannot see any of the chat box, so I apologize for that. All right, let me show you guys this other page. Here we go. Okay. Oh, that is the same one, not the right one. Hold on. Right. There it is. Okay. No, why is it showing? Are you guys seeing the new one or the old one? You're seeing the sandals, yeah? Bevy sandals? Okay. Okay. Team-wide 7-day groups and cleanses. Even if you're not huge on cleanses, you guys, I think it's still important to offer them to customers, because a lot of times customers are not necessarily ready for the lifestyle change kind of situation. Unfortunately, we still do have a lot of people that love the quick fixes. And so in certain cases, I think it's good to be sharing these cleanses that we do. And even if you're not doing them, again, still running the group, I think, is important. So team-wide cleanses and challenging the whole downline to try it or share it and be doing a 7-day group with it. So if you're doing, say, 3-day refresh, this would be a great time to do a cleanse either post-holiday, pre-holiday, maybe post-summit when everybody comes back from 5 days being at summit and running around. Another option would be the ultimate reset. You guys, I was so dead set I would never try the ultimate reset. I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do that. That's super scary. I can't even think about eating that clean for that long. And I would encourage you to try it, because it's going to change so many of your habits. It's going to open up your eyes to actually how much food it really is. You're going to become educated on it. You're going to be able to teach your entire team and your customers more about it when you've used supplements yourself. And honestly, I love using it like in a crunch actual meal plan often when I just want like a 5-day like kind of cleanse type thing. So challenging your entire team to a team-wide cleanse is always a good option. Sending share carts to all your current customers on launch day. Now, I know not everyone does this, but I love on launch day, like when Bevy comes out or a limited edition, I will go into, or even Muscle Burns Fat. You guys can dive into your online office and you can go to your customer list and you can actually filter like what kind of customers you have. So you can filter the customers that have Beachbody On Demand already, and then the customers who don't, the customers who are on home direct products, and the customers who aren't. And for example, when Muscle Burns Fat released, I went in and I filtered everybody who already had Beachbody On Demand who was one of my customers. And I went in and sent share carts for the accessories bundle, MBF, to all of my customers who had Beachbody On Demand, who maybe already had a home direct product or whatever, and just sent it to them. And I shared, hey, we're starting a new program. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I think you would love it. And we're going to start it on so-and-so date. And I just started sending out share cards. You guys, you would be shocked how many people are like, oh, $50? Like, I'm totally doing that. I'm getting MDF, I'm getting the calendar, the guide, the bod ropes. I'm doing it. I'm ready to get back on track. Maybe they've been thinking about it, but nobody had reached out to them, or you hadn't had a conversation with them in a while. Great idea if you guys just want to see what customers respond to that sort of thing. So I do the same with like new flavor launches of anything, any of the VIP unlocks. It's an easy way to, I mean, they don't have to purchase it, but it's there if they want to. Cart is already created. And then to go along with the share cart, customer share cart add-ons. A lot of our coaches in my downline do this. I've done this a few times, but I know several of my coaches who do it and they have a lot of success with it. So say they have a customer who wants a Shakeology Beachbody On Demand challenge pack. They add on to their share cart order, say a tub of Energize. Just a one-time order, nothing, you don't have to put it on auto ship or whatever. And then they share in the personalized email or in the message that they send to them why they added on Energize. They're like, hey, this is my like mom juice or like my energy that I take before a workout, sometimes to clean the house, like whatever. I love it. And I really think you might like it. If you don't, you can always remove it from your cart, but just thought I would add it on so you could check it out. And that, 8 out of 10 times, someone's like, cool, I'm just going to grab it. It's, and a lot of times you can add on things like beach bars and stuff on sale. Go ahead and do it. It's an upsell. You're getting everybody on board with an extra product to try. If they don't like it, they take it out. You're not pushing them to buy. You're not telling them they have to, but you're giving them that option that maybe they just didn't see before. And then lastly are just summer sale groups. We do this around the fall as well, but anytime there are promotions, different products on sale, different challenge packs on sale, we basically do these summer sale groups that are about 5 days long, highlighting the products that are on sale. Maybe we highlight Performance Line one day, Shakeology the next day, whatever it might be. And then again, we do, there's a nice little typo. We do a ring the bell and tag a coach, and they tag their coach, they get into a giveaway, they've got a new product in their hands. The team is seeing a boost in volume because we are all in on a launch. That's the biggest thing for you guys to remember, is that a launch is only a launch when you make it that way. If you want a volume bump in your downline, you have to create that. You have to have your entire team on board. You have to have everybody aware of the new product, and they need to be sharing it, because maybe it's not your feel. I was not a bar blend girl. That was just not my jam. However, I 100% tried the sample. I 100% shared me doing different workouts. I definitely talked about it openly on my social media platforms, because who's to say that that person watching me wouldn't love bar? Maybe they're not a lifting kind of girl, and maybe they want to do a program like that. So not every customer is going to like what you like, And so you need to make sure that you're sharing every product and you're aware of it. And you can't talk about a product unless you've tried it. So I would definitely encourage you guys to dive into your teams and say, hey guys, are there any products we haven't tried? Is there anything that we think we could add into our regimen that would be really beneficial for us to learn about, just so that we can educate our own customers and our followers and maybe put something else out there that we have to offer? Because if all you're ever sharing is Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology, they're going to think that being a coach and a customer requires just Beachbody On Demand and just Shakeology. And we are so much more than that. And so we can offer so many more products to them, but you've got to get them excited about it and on board. Okay, I'm going to look at these questions. Any questions that I can answer right now? I feel like everybody was kind of answering everything as I was going. Yes, I individually send out the share carts to each of the customers. It's a little time consuming, but it's just one of the things that I choose to do. It's not like I do it all the time. It's just certain launch days. And it does not have to be on the launch day. Don't stress yourself out and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta share all these share carts to these people that didn't even want it. Like, that's just an extra thing that I choose to do maybe the day after a launch or whenever. That can be any time during the week that you guys do that. You know, it's not anything you have to worry about. Images in the launch groups, where do you get them, create them? Well, it just depends. I outsource that. I am not someone that is good at that. I actually use Pixel and Hue to get hype group. They have hype group templates, so I'm not creating any of it. And yeah, I don't know. Anything else that you guys can think of, Ruth, Micah, that maybe you do that I haven't touched on? Or
I think that was awesome. For any new leader on here that's a developing leader, you know, and maybe your upline elite coach runs the hype group and you're saying to yourself, well, I don't want to run my own hype group. You know, I only have a team right now of 5 people. Partner up. Like, you should be active and loud in your upline's team page, you know, talking about all of these things, and also in that hype group. So a lot of our teams, you know, they run it together. So I'm running it with all the coaches on my team. And so if you are pushing to be 2-star diamond, 5-star diamond, and you don't have a massive organization yet, you don't need to go run your own hype group at this point. But you do need to be in your upline's team page and in your upline's hype group, and you need to be contributing there and contributing excitement and engagement and talking to your business coaches and your discount coaches about all these product launches. Because if you're just thinking like, oh, well, my superstar diamond coach has it and she's handling it, like, you have more influence over the people in your downline than your superstar diamond coach or than your elite coach. And if you want a big team, you have to act like a big leader. So you need to be contributing just as much as who's ever downline coach that you're a part of. Go in, make noise, make excitement, and bring hype to that. Don't wait for your elite coach to do it or for your superstar coach. You need to act like that if that's the type of business you want. Micah, anything else? Yeah, I love what Nikki just said. You become a leader by getting confidence in your upline team page. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you guys need to like overcomplicate things as far as leadership goes. Like, step up, use your voice. I was very loud, as she was saying, in my uplines page for a very long time because I wanted everybody to see that this was a team thing. This was like us bringing this together. I always say, like, do not leave the nest too soon. There is like something to that. You definitely want to utilize the tools that your upline is giving you, and this should be a duplicatable system that you guys have, because the last thing you want is someone to come in and be like, I could never do that. That is too much for me. So we got to make sure that we're teamwork makes the dream work situation, and gaining our confidence as a leader first. And you'll have that feel of like, okay, it is time for me to like, you'll know. It'd be like, I'm a leader now. I can see it. I can feel it. You have leaders in your organization and your downline is really kind of when you start to feel it. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
All right, guys. Hope this.
All right, that is it. Funny thing, I'm somebody who like gets right into action. So as you guys are watching this, we in Team Ignite Your Passion are going to probably be starting anyone who hits Success Club in whatever month it is, the following month, you get to get on a special call on the first Friday of the month following it. So like if you hit Success Club this July, you get a call the first Friday of the next month to go over your volume and planning and stuff like that. Or we can just also do one-on-ones, but that will be with like the larger team group with like Amanda and everyone in Team Ignite Your Passion. So love you guys, mean it. I hope this was helpful.